Welcome back to Allen Ball Adventures. Good morning from Grand Teton National Park. It's so beautiful here. We're here at Mormon Row, really famous photo op spot, which I'm sure we'll be doing here soon. We've got some friends joining us on this trip, so it's time to meet the crew. Choose your character.
Officially doing our first hike here at the Teton National Park. We got there super early at camp and figured why not, we have a bunch of time. So we are currently going to be doing Hidden Falls Trail
Via Jenny Lake. So
yeah.
I think you've got to go through Jenny Lake. It's kind of like the most popular attraction, biggest visitor center, that kind of thing. There's Jenny Lake to our left. Here we are basically at the base of the falls. Okay, so Hidden Falls, I would say, is worth the hike.
Hopefully you can hear this because these waves are pretty strong, but how awesome is this? Just getting to paddleboard on a lake with the Tetons as your backdrop. Insane. And the water's actually pretty warm, so
we're gonna give you a quick camp tour here in our first night in the Tetons. It's really just a quick one because where we're camping here tonight is just for one night. Then we're gonna go stay by our friend's campsite. It's like right next door. This is a major campsite, you know, in the national park. So we're not even gonna put out the rain fly. We're just gonna have the windows cracked a little bit, sleep inside because in the morning we're waking up super early and hitting the trail. So we want to be able to just boom, on the go quick. But I will show you down here because this is really made for tent camping. There's a lot of overlanders here though. Seen some really cool setups and some really cool rigs. But you got your nice fire pit over here. It comes with a picnic table, bear box, of course, because there's definitely bear activity here in the area. And yeah, it's a pretty good space. That's where the tent would go if you were tent camping. So, night one.
good morning. We are officially doing our first big hike here in the Tetons. We're going to be conquering Delta Lake, which is almost 8 miles and 2,300 feet of elevation. So
yeah,
I'm excited. We're officially in bear country. So hopefully we don't encounter too many close by, but we do see some on the trail, and hopefully we see moose because we already seen elk and deer this morning. So I'm excited.
Here we go. Going to the boulder field where apparently it's a scramble. So that is pretty much it for the Delta Lake hike. It was awesome. Definitely a hard last half mile. It's a scramble. It'll get your heart rate up. But it's been really beautiful. It's captivating, challenging, and the Tetons are just stunning. 10 out of 10. Recommend. Good morning. It is very early. We woke up to do a sunrise here at Tetons.
It's our last day at the Tetons because we head up towards Yellowstone basically today. So figured we might as well catch the beautiful sunrise over the Tetons and watch the mountains glow red. So fingers crossed that's exactly what happens.
Sunrise is currently at 5:39. It's 5:30 and it's already beautiful. Hello, after an early sunrise this morning right in front of the Grand Teton, we have now drove maybe an hour and a half north. We're in the National Forest. Actually, we're between Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. We're right on the border of both, really, but we wanted to find some dispersed camping out here, and we've done it. The camp tour will definitely not disappoint, but we got this whole lake to ourselves.
Yep, it's amazing.
Private lake.
So we basically spent the last 2 nights in the Tetons, camping. Yep, regular campground with a ton of people, and then we're doing the same in Yellowstone starting tomorrow. So we figured let's do a little bit of a break day in between and find a non-crowded place, and it's amazing. We're the only ones at this campsite.
Only ones here.
Yeah, and there's this beautiful lake. Now we're just paddleboarding,
Exploring.
yep, having a relaxing day before we head up to Yellowstone tomorrow.
It's camp tour time. We have done it again, landed another free campsite. Huge shout out to Onyx on this one because we are in one of the most populated or highly trafficked national parks. We're right in between Yellowstone, directly here to our north, and the Grand Tetons right here directly to our south. And the one four-wheel drive road, or off-roading trail that we found on Onyx provided a plethora of free and open campsites. So let's go check ours out because it's pretty sweet. You're gonna want to see this. So as you can see there, we have a huge lake, all basically private to ourselves. No one has showed up here at all. And earlier we went paddle boarding here. It was really nice. Be able to go back in there, see where the creeks are that feed in, and the exits obviously at the dams here. But how nice, a beautiful private lake. So there is multiple different campsites here at this area that we pulled into. It was just gravel road, pulled down a four-wheel drive road, and maybe I would say 10-15 sites right here, totally unoccupied. So let's take you in. There is Ludicrous. We got our chairs set up over here, a nice little bench. Just our typical setup here with the rain fly and our floor. Really nice head height. He's dragging over there, enjoying the sun. Over in the distance, I do have my solar and the fridge over there as well. And let's go over here around to the back because there is a creek here as well. And here is the creek that flows out of the bottom of the dam. We can hear not only the waterfall, but also the babbling brook right here behind our camp. So how cool is it? Because the last few days we've been camping with our friends in an established campground because we wanted to be in the national park, and it worked out great. It was wonderful. But how great is this to have total solitude in generally the same area? And of course it's free and pretty sweet. So huge shout out to Onyx. It allows you to see where the possible campsites are, and I'd say we're 11 for 11 still on that. So there we go. campsite. Last campsite in the Tetons. Good morning. We are officially in Yellowstone. Right here behind us is the Old Faithful. We just got some perfect timing with the eruption there. So we're here after about an hour and a half drive down from our campsite, and we're officially in Yellowstone. So this kicks off the next journey of this leg.
Woo!
Grand Canyon of Yellowstone.
So we are currently at the Grand Prismatic, but you can't really see it because of all the fog. But look at the tracks. I believe those are going to be wolf, and then you have your bison.
Here's the realities of Yellowstone. Hundreds of people.
Something unexpected. We just pulled up to camp, and look at this. We have a bison just roaming around.
Well, we seem to have escaped the wind now that we're past that quarry. We're moving towards some national park land, so hopefully we can start to see some dispersed signs soon. We have done it yet once again, this time in the beautiful state of Montana. So we have this nice creekside fairyland, really, leads down here into camp. So I thought it's probably time for a camp tour. So let's do a quick tour, guys. Something I wanted to cover. I didn't do a camp tour yesterday. And honestly, there's a reason for it. Yellowstone, the campground was the least exciting campground I've ever seen in my life. I've camped a lot. You basically were right next to your neighbor. You just pulled off and there was no room. Very out in the open. It was strange. So we only ended up staying there one night, and now we decided to push north and disperse camp, and we've landed in Montana. Okay, so camp tour. Typical setup here. It is nice to be able to have this rainfly mosquito net out tonight because when you're in camp in Yellowstone, you got to close the door. So it's good to have that peace and quiet back. Let's come around here to the rest of the squad. We've got Jamie and his family in the Tacoma in the pop-up tent here. Awesome looking setup. Boom. Massive fire pit here. We're gonna do some cooking. And over here we got the Tundra. He's setting up the diesel heater so he doesn't freeze overnight.
It's crazy. We have literally gone through almost all seasons. We started in West Virginia and it was still pretty early spring there. And then we were in Utah and it was basically summer, 105 degrees. Now we're in Montana and it's snowing and it's cold. I don't know if you can see the snow.
The streak continues. We have landed yet another beautiful, free, dispersed campsite. Again, huge plug to Onyx on this one. Just simply pulled it up as we were at the grocery store before we headed up here. We're currently about, I would say, almost 2.5 hours north of where we slept this morning in Montana. And now we're really close to Glacier Park here in Montana. So let's take you over for a camp tour. Yes, it is definitely sprinkling rain. It's been raining pretty good. So we've got a pretty cool setup here actually to accommodate the rain. So check it out. I'm here to the inside. We utilize our awning to span across to the truck. We come in here to the kitchen. Everybody's hard at work in the kitchen. Ooh, so many lines. We got Alex's awning. We're on the length there. So we double the length of our awning, allowing maximum coverage from the weather. Our typical setup here, which actually went nicely up there, so we're completely protected. And we got the fire going here as well. So we're gonna be cooking some nice potato soup here on the fire. Over this way is a little creek, so we have a water source. And this was literally like 10 to 15 minutes up a gravel road right off the highway. Super easy to get to, not a 4-wheel drive trail, just regular. And it's beautiful, it's gonna work great. So that's the camp tour. We have officially made it to Glacier. Beautiful. Seeing all this thick vegetation we're walking through and these green mountains with snow on them just blows my mind comparative to the landscapes that we've been in only a couple weeks ago. It's just amazing how much topography can change over a few days of travel. And this is quite the stark contrast between the Southwest. So we finished our hike of the mini waterfalls and now we've decided to walk along the shoreline of the lake, St. Mary's Lake. It is about almost 10 miles long. I think it was like 9.9. And if I remember right, 248 feet deep. Pretty impressive.
And the water is super clear. You can see the rocks.
We just arrived at our campsite here in Glacier, so I thought I'd do a quick camp tour. Now, this is a paid campground. This was planned. We are inside of the park. There is some dispersed camping inside of Glacier, but for the specific hike that we wanted to be at, we figured we'd try to get as close as possible because tomorrow is an early wake-up call. So let's check out this compared to what we went through with Yellowstone. So it's a similar design in the way that it's just these like pull-offs, but it's much more secluded and you feel like you're still up in the mountains, which is very nice, and there's shade. I would have to say I'm much more impressed with the campsites here compared to Yellowstone, even though they're both like mecca, huge parks, that kind of thing. But Glacier is beautiful. If you were to guess the time right now, you would think, oh, early evening, you know,
Like,
perfect light. I can see
8:15.
Yeah, dragging a total. You'd guess about 8:15 maybe. You know, it's starting to get dark. See what?
Actually,
It's
almost 10 o'clock. Crazy. And we need to go to bed because we need to be up at like 5. So, good night. Good morning, y'all. It's currently 5:15 a.m. here at our camp in Glacier National Park. We're getting an extra early start today because we have a 10-mile hike we're going to be doing, and the area we're going to is pretty popular. So there's very limited parking. So we're trying to basically get there without risking not having a parking spot because this is the hike we've been really wanting to do. So we are getting ready to head over there. I'm super excited. And also, having an early start means a higher chance of seeing wildlife. So I'm super excited.
Good morning. This is our early wake up call for our hike today, Grinnell Glacier. We just arrived here at Mini Glacier Basin and we're by a beautiful Swiss-inspired hotel.
Amazing. It literally looks like we're back in Switzerland. So beautiful.
Well, we've already hiked 4 miles this morning and didn't even make it to the right trailhead. They've got everything blocked off, closed off, and zero signs telling you where to go. So we hike over there. That's where the real trail starts, right there, and then up. Apparently we had to go over here, go on a different trail to get to where we're going. So the struggle of the morning, we're already 4 miles in, and we've got another like 10 to go. This is compared quite frequently to Switzerland and the Swiss Alps, and we have been to Switzerland. We have seen, you know, some of the most beautiful spots there, and I'll have to say, it's just different. Switzerland is absolutely beautiful. It's phenomenal. It's striking. The hike I did there, I would have to say it was much crazier than this, but there's plenty more hikes we're yet to do, so it just gives us more reason to come back here and continue to check it out. So this pretty much wraps up the Grinnell Glacier hike because we weren't able to do the entire thing in its entirety, and that's primarily because we're here in early June or mid-June, and the snowpack is just doesn't allow the park system to open the trails, but still a phenomenal hike. This is amazing. We just saw a bear and a moose at the same time. And we were just talking about the time of year and when to be here, and it's springtime, so you know you don't have complete snow melt. That also means all the animals are coming out, and some of the trails might be closed for various reasons, animals and or snow. But we hit the trifecta. We've seen all the animals we wanted to see. Checked off multiple moose today and a bear with 2 cubs.
Yep, so trifecta's pretty much complete. If we could see a wolf, that would really complete it, but I'm not betting on it. That would
That's
just
the cherry on the top.
Yeah, that would just be a bonus.
But lots of wildlife. night 2 here in the Glacier National Park. I want to show off our campsite here. We're just a few spots down actually from where we were just last night. Good morning, sleepyheads. Today is our last day in Glacier. So we're going to be going to the Sun Road to get back to the west side of the park to continue out west. But we're going to try to stop at as many of these little pull-offs as we can, because going to the Sun Road is phenomenal. This is an arch. There's 3 arches here that they built into the side of the mountain where they bore a tunnel. And I could only imagine building these in the early 1900s. I think it was 1920s when they built these. And they took the time to make these arches so you could come out and look off the cliffside here. Amazing. I'm sure many men lost their lives in the progress, and it's pretty phenomenal. All the architecture here in Glacier has actually been very impressive. Alright, yet another free campsite landed. Check it out. We're actually in Lake Como, Montana. Here in a big pine forest. We try to camp down by the lake at the established campground. However, it was pretty busy for Wednesday. Most of the sites were occupied, and we figured we'd hit the 4-wheel drive trail, see what we could find on Onyx, and lo and behold, boom, another free campsite. So pretty sweet. Bring in a camp here. Got the fire right over here. Sacrificing rock. Chairs. We did put our awning out as it was scattered showers. Ludicrous looking nice. It's pretty flat. Made for an easy setup. Quick, boom, he's got his awning out as well. And we're really just kind of on this plateau here in between this crest and the next peak up there. Maybe only 10-15 minutes up the trail by Como Lake. So pretty awesome. So we'll have one night here and then we'll continue heading down south. We've peaked. We've almost went to Canada, almost near Canada border. Now we're coming back down. So
dragon and take a picture of those and tell Brett and Audrey and tell them we're in Colorado.
We are now in the great state of Idaho. We drove about 3 hours south from the great state of Montana, which was a beautiful drive down here into the Sawtooth Mountains. And now we're here at Redfish Lake. There's a sawtooth there in the background. Totally blew me away. Did not expect it. So beautiful here. It's a hidden gem for sure. And Redfish Lake might just be one of the most beautiful lakes I've ever seen. So after a good few hours of driving, it's time to do some paddleboarding.
Nice.
It's camp tour time. So first time camping here in Idaho on, Onyx free trails, and we lucked out. Wouldn't you have it? Once again. I don't know if you can hear in the background. There is a nice creek here behind us, so we do have a water source. We are just outside of Stanley, Idaho, and the Sawtooth Mountains are undescribably beautiful. I mean, they take the bag. It's the biggest surprise of the whole trip so far. I can definitely say that. So let's do a quick camp tour here. We are in bear country still, as well as mosquitoes. So gonna sleep with a closed hatch today, but no problem with that. We got the solar up front getting that last little bit of the day. But something I wanted to point out over here at this camp tour is the full steel ring fire pit. It's actually a very nice one, but that is one way that they show you here in Idaho that it's okay to disperse camp, to give you that in advance, and it's a really nice one. So pretty good first day here after paddleboarding on the lake, having a nice reset. And tomorrow we head farther down south into Idaho. We're going to check out some hot springs. Good morning, sleepyheads, as Trahan would say. So we just drove an hour south from our camp there in Stanley, Idaho, and now we are about to hit a hot spring this morning. So we are at, I believe it's Cedar Falls Campground or Cedar something campground. Look at the size of that cedar. And now we're gonna go hit a natural hot spring that's kind of like in the side of the cliff, if I'm not mistaken. So exciting. This water here on our feet is hot. Look at that. You can see the steam coming off of it. This is by far one of the most beautiful natural hot springs I have ever been to. Wow, Idaho did not disappoint. Didn't have to pay for this, you know. Just our national park pass got us parking, and I mean, just look at that. You can see the smoke coming off of it, rolling into this nice, beautiful pool. And then you got the river right down there. Alright, we've made it to the upper falls. We're way back away from the river here. I just stepped in a pool. It was so hot. It burned my foot. I had to get my shoe off. It was so hot. But there's multiple pools. One over there. 2, 3. See if there's any more. So there's probably about 7 to 8 different hot spring pools here at this area. These two here at the top, definitely one of the hottest. One of which we could not even get in. I mean, a natural hot spring that is so hot you don't want to get in it. That's amazing. Usually it's like, oh, it's bath water, which if you go down towards the river, there are some things down there where that's lukewarm.
So there's one right there that's pretty lukewarm. There's 2 by the river.
Beautiful.
And then the waterfall, which flows from these massive hot ones, which I thought was probably the prettiest one.
Waterfall is definitely the best. This little known secret, we are going to keep it hidden. So it is in the state of Idaho. However, if you want to find it, you're going to have to go look for it yourself.
Well, that pretty much wraps up this incredible 2-week trip that we just took with our friends. And man, what a better way to end it than just waking up and spending time in this hot spring was just off the river here in Idaho. It's
From the Tetons to Yellowstone, and from there up to Glacier, from Glacier down to Como. Now we're at basically smack dab in the middle of Idaho. It's been a great 2 weeks. 3 rigs, multiple national parks, lots of camping, lots of fun. It was a great, great time. And now we continue on to the next journey. So if you've enjoyed the content here at Alan Baldwin, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to help support the channel. And we'll see you in the next one.